how you ended up in that toxic relationship to begin with. I mean, how did you allow this to happen? How did it slip past your radar? How did you not see this coming? I'm Jerome. Thank you for visiting my channel. This is a superb word. Today I'm going to break down the foundation and the fundamentals of a toxic relationship, how it was even brought about, how it even built. What's the foundation of a toxic relationship? I'm going to break it down to you. I'm going to help you understand what had to have happened, and then you're going to also get some freedom at the end of this video, because I'm going to show you what you do by default to get out of it, and you probably haven't even consciously thought about it. You just do it because you're a super empath. You're somebody who is an educated, empathic person, and these things that happen to you in your life, you already know how now to navigate. Sometimes you might get a little insecure and think to yourself like, am I doing it right? But ultimately, yes, you are. So I'm going to help you, give you a little word today, and hopefully you feel better about how you maneuver, and even yourself, you'll understand who you are. So the foundations of a toxic relationship, it always starts with somebody who is putting on the show. So you being an empath, you're being yourself. We all, when we first meet, are bringing our best version of ourselves, our representatives to the table. That's by default. But someone else, one of the two parties, is being someone that they are not. They are pretending, okay? There's various reasons why they do this. One is that they can have a low self-worth or a low self-esteem. So that's why they didn't come as their self, because they don't even really like themselves. You know what I mean? And there's some healing that should have been done prior to meeting you, but people like they're codependent. They don't know how to do the work. They're impatient. They don't like being alone. So there's many reasons why somebody with self-worth or low self-worth would still try to get into a relationship before it's their time. Another reason why people pretend upon meeting you is because they're running from their past. You know, a lot of times, unfortunately, you'll be in a new city. I live in Las Vegas, and then this is a transient city, so a lot of people will move here and they're from somewhere else, but they're running from something. They dissociate themselves from their past, their family members, anybody who knows the real version of them, so they can come to a new city and put on a whole new role, a whole new character, a whole new facade of who they really are. So that's another reason why somebody would come into the relationship not being their self. Another reason is because they are ashamed of where they are in their life. Due to social media and all of this modern day dating, a lot of women requiring men to have unrealistic things going on in their life. Mostly men come to dating situations insecure about their height, their finances, if they live alone or not, how many kids, how many baby mamas they have, because they will be judged off of this. A lot of women too are coming into relationships feeling like they will be judged if they had too many baby fathers, if they're a stay-at-home mom and don't have an income, if they live below their means as well. So this is another reason why people come into a relationship lying, is because maybe their background, the reason why they're not employed, whose car they're driving, you know, if they're even employed or not, if they have their own place, or they stand with their kid's mother or kid's father, or if they stay at their mom's house, whatever the case may be, they come into a relationship ashamed to disclose this information. Okay, so they put on an act. Okay, another thing is because they might be scammers. They might be the type of person who goes around and they might not have a place to stay, so they get with chicks who have a place to stay, and they just run the scam and you know, do and say whatever that needs to be said and done just so they can have a place to stay. That's another reason why somebody will come into the relationship on false pretenses. You know, they can't tell you what their plan is, otherwise you wouldn't allow it to happen. Another reason is because they might view you as a potential come up. You might look good on their side. You might make them look good. You might hoist their image up. Having you around, you're so talented and so beautiful and smart. Having you around just might make them look like somebody. Again, this goes back to number one. They might have low value and low self-worth, so having you makes them feel more important. You know, unfortunately, people like this, when they get with you, they try to tear you down to make themselves feel better. But these are the reasons why people come into a relationship, and the relationship is built on false pretenses. Okay. Now, in order for them to accomplish this the proper way, there's a couple of things that have to happen. Okay. One, they have to withhold information. They have to. There's no way it gets done without them withholding information about their past or about their true character or about their identity, their background check, their employment. They have to withhold this information from you. We look at this and be like, why couldn't they just tell me? They have to. In order to get their goal across, they have to withhold this information. Okay. The next thing, they let you talk about all of your business without honestly being vulnerable with you and telling you any of their business. This puts them in a higher level of control over the relationship. They feel like, I know who you are, you don't know who I am. They feel like a winner. That's how the foundation of a toxic relationship is built. We have to face this and tell ourselves the truth. Another thing is they triangulate you with other people to find the best possible manipulation tactics to use against you. Somebody else might have dealt with somebody just like you before. Whenever you say and do something that they don't know how to figure out, or they're frustrated with you, you're being talked about. You're being devalued to their friends or to their mother, or to their cousins or their homegirls, or if you're a man, she might have guy friends and she say, how do men think? You will be devalued. Okay, that is part of what needs to happen. She has to tell someone else this stuff so she can bounce ideas, come up. It's you against everyone she's talking to, or he. This is for male and female. It's you versus everybody she's talking about you to. Okay, and another thing that has to happen is they have to do some kind of future faking in order to get you to lower your defenses and lower your guard and believe that they're going to be here for a while. And that makes you feel more comfortable and trusting in them. So the reason why I put this segment right here as far as what must happen is because we have to understand there's no other way to go about manipulating somebody other than to lie to them. That is part of the strategy. That is a key component, is deceit. Okay, now what do they do wrong? This is where it gets juicy. Okay, especially if you are a super empathic person. What they do wrong is they underestimate your intelligence. They don't think that you're smart enough to catch on to what's going on. They think you're stupid. They think they're smarter than you, especially because they're triangulating you. And then they don't understand that you can hear things and say, that doesn't sound like you. That sounds like somebody else told you that. They underestimate you. That's the number one thing they do wrong, is they underestimate you. The next thing they do is they let their mask slip way too early in the game. You ever been with somebody who was acting gentle, nice, and kind, and in the early stages, as they do something subtle to kind of like show that that's not really who they are, but you let it slide because you don't have enough evidence yet. You want to see a pattern of this. If you are dating somebody and they're nice, you're going to believe that they are a nice person. If you see somebody who's nice, mean, mean, then you're going to see some inconsistencies in the pattern. If you're seeing somebody who's nice, and then for the rest of the relationship they're mean, then you're going to be like, who was that person? And because they're mean now for the duration of the relationship, you're wanting what it was in the beginning. That's keeping you stuck because you want to go back to what it used to be. If someone was mean in the beginning, it probably would not have lasted. You probably wouldn't entered into that relationship because they're showing you off top who they are. So I don't even need to run through that scenario. Okay, another thing that they do wrong is they talk too much and forget their own lies. You're sitting there listening. Again, they're underestimating you. You're sitting there listening to everything that they're telling you, like they're doing to you. Okay, and then you hear their stories change as the months pass. And you're like, that's not how it was the first time. And you don't say anything. You just like, okay, inconsistency, red flag. Unfortunately, these type of things take time for us to be able to see. There's no way to predetermine in the beginning before you meet somebody if they are who they say they are. So you have to put a little bit of time. You have to be vulnerable. You are running the risk of being hurt. And that's something that's just what you got to do. It is smarter for you to take your time, though. If you take your time, you probably will get hurt a lot less. These things probably won't have that big of an impact on your self-esteem or your mental health if you take your time in the dating process. But yes, what they do wrong is they definitely talk too much and they forget their own lies. The next thing that they do wrong is their words never match their actions. That's a dead giveaway. They say they're going to do something. They said they did something. They said they used to work somewhere. They say whatever it is they tell you, it doesn't match what you see. Nothing that they have said to you can be validated with your eyes. Only your ears heard what they said, but you can never validate what they say. I know somebody like myself, if I tell you stories about my childhood and then I bring you around my family, without me provoking a conversation, my family would tell them same stories right in front of your eyes. And then me and you get to have a moment where you look at me like, you told me that. Whatever I told you previously is validated. Someone else told you that, and I don't have to tell them to tell you that. Okay? That never happens with somebody who's deceiving you. The stories that you hear in front of their family and friends that you never met, when you finally meet them, they don't line up. They might sound like half-truths, little bits and pieces of the details match, but not the whole story. That's what you're dealing with. That's something that they do wrong. The last thing, or not even the last thing, but another thing that they do wrong, they have unrealistic expectations of you. They're not asking for simple things like respect, loyalty, commitment. They want all of those things, but they want everything else too. They want to drive your car. They want to live in your place. They don't want to help you pay the bills. They want you to pay their bills. They don't want you to ask for anything in return. They want you to, every holiday, they want you to go big and over the top, extravagant, to make sure that they have everything they desire in life. And when it's time to do the same thing for you, they're like, they don't even know what to do because they never thought about what somebody else wanted. That's an unrealistic expectation of the relationship anyway. It's a one-sided relationship with these people. And even if they do something with you or for you, it's so that you can do something for them in return. And you will know this because they will stop doing for you until they receive something in return for what they've done for you. Okay? Now, what super empaths do in this type of situation or relationship or one-sided situation is pretty much once we see a potential scheme coming our way, this is what I do personally. Once I see a potential scheme coming my way, I make it harder for them to accomplish it. What does this do? This either makes you A, run away because I'm too difficult to deal with, or B, you get frustrated and you blow up at me. Now, if you're trying to manipulate me and I shut you down and you get mad at me and you say, you're difficult, you're rebellious, and I can't work with you. You just expose yourself. Because then that builds another room for a conversation on. So what is it that you actually want from me? Let's be clear, because what you're asking for, I'm either not willing to give you or I don't have it to give you. Okay, so that's what happened, and this really works because someone with pure intentions won't try to push your boundaries. They respect your boundaries. Having boundaries is key in a toxic or any relationship, but especially in a toxic relationship. Having boundaries is what protects you. You must have boundaries, and you must be your own boundary police. You are the only one who can enforce your own boundaries. And if you let somebody cross your boundaries repeatedly, you're lackadaisical. Hey, that's your fault. As a super empath, we enforce those boundaries, and we do not let people cross those boundaries willy-nilly. Okay, the second thing we do as super empaths is we make sure that we do our due diligence, whatever that may be. We show up in a relationship how we want somebody to show up for us. We don't go over the top and let somebody manipulate us and use us. Sometimes that's out of our control and we didn't see it coming, and it happens. But that's why we do videos like this. But when you do your due diligence in the relationship, you show up the way you want someone to show up for you. They can't make you feel bad when they try to tell you you're not doing enough. You don't believe that. You're like, I've done what I was willing to do. I've done what I would want someone to do for me. That just shows that we are in a relationship and we're not compatible in this relationship. Because what I'm willing to do for you is not enough for you. I don't know what else to say. Because I'm not going to do any further, go any further than what I'm already willing to do. Okay, that's the second thing super empaths do. You can't come back to me and tell me I didn't do my part because I made sure I did. The third thing is we document everything. Whether we journal it or we keep mental notes and we try to remember, me, I save every text message you ever send me. So I can go back and tell you what I told you 5 months ago. I've done it. I'm documenting everything. So I know what I told you. You know what I'm saying? We speaking facts around here. Okay? And another thing that we do is we bounce at the perfect time, leaving them severely narcissistically injured. Unfortunately, this is not something that we intend to do maliciously. Oh, but it's going to happen. If you are messing with a super empathic person, we are going to drop your ass. And you are going to feel the wrath. of just our presence being taken away. We're going to bless you with our absence. And that's going to hurt. Because like I said, the previous thing we do, or two things prior, is we make sure we do our due diligence in that relationship. So when we snatch it away and say, game over, hit the kill switch, as I like to put it, you're going to feel that. Okay. The fifth thing we do is we anticipate the smear campaign and we let them do what they do. We don't fight the smear campaign. Talk about me. I don't care. Nothing you saying is true is not going to bother me. That's not something that we're going to be hurt by. We laugh at that. When we hear stories, we like, let her talk. Let her have her fun. She's just mad. That's the reality of being a super empath. Smear campaigns don't faze us. We know who we are and we know what we've done. The last, or not the last, but another thing is we move on to bigger, better things, man. We escape a toxic relationship. We can smile again. We heal quicker. Super empathic people, we hurt, we cry, we feel pain. We have a lot of sleepless nights. We pray and we ask God, and God, he sends us our healing. And then we move forward in life.